Okay, hello. Hi, Tim. Thank you so much for asking for a reading. I do these on Sunday nights. I actually have a page. It's called MH Messages of Hope. It's on Facebook. It's a business page, and there every Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Central. If you're interested in tuning in, and usually I'm announcing Thursday, Friday, Saturday sometime, and then on Sunday I announce again that I'm going to be there in case I'm not. I've been having some issues with Wi-Fi, so I haven't been on quite as regularly. So tonight was kind of a fun time. But thank you for asking for a reading. I decided to use the Mystical Shaman Oracle for you, and this is a deck that uses ancient symbols. That's the back of the card that they all look like, and this is the type of imagery that you see. You can see they're really gorgeous cards, but they are all ancient symbols, and a lot of them from every spiritual philosophy. So what I like to do with this card is the card comes with the essence, which explains the original intent, the original essence of the symbol. And then we'll discuss what the card means to you. And as I was shuffling, two cards actually fell out. So I'm going to go ahead and read both of those cards for you. And the two cards that you got, the first one that fell out, well, they fell out at the same time, but the one that fell out on top was the spiral. And the second was Pachamama, which is kind of the earth goddess almost. She's from Incan spiritual philosophies. She's very similar to Gaia, or she is Gaia, I guess, but we'll get to that. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to read you the essence of the cards. We're going to start with spiral because that was the one that was on the top. And I'll read you the essence, and then we'll talk about what that means to you and what the encouragement or confirmation, affirmation is for you. And then I'll read the second card, and then we'll put those two messages together and see what we find. Now, I do full hour readings where I pull 8 to 12 or 15 cards or whatever. So this is not necessarily going to be, the most in-depth and detailed thing, but hopefully it will resonate with you, and there will be a message in there for you that you can relate to. And so this is the essence of, and the essential meaning behind the symbolism of the spiral. From galaxies in the sky to diminutive shells at the beach, the spiral is found extensively in the natural world. Its shape in the form of a coiled serpent has been used since ancient times as a tool for growth and transformation. The spiral's journey until the exhausted paradigm dissolves in the depths of the psyche and its energy is released to give birth to a new reality. So essentially, the spiral is about allowing and moving forward through transformation and moving forward in a positive way. And I always speak about striving for physical, emotional, and spiritual balance. And everybody understands the universe and their world that they live in the way they understand it. So I may use the word spirit, universe, God, guide, angel, whatever, interchangeably. So whatever, however you understand it, put in whatever word you want, because ultimately it's all the same. So the spiral is. Talks a lot about going into consciousness. It's about self-assessment and allowing yourself to metamorphosis into who you are supposed to become and moving towards the growth and the edification and being more today than you were yesterday. So it talks about it's kind of it's like a serpent skin. And so it's kind of like we know that in order to renew yourself and revitalize yourself and kind of make yourself over and move into this new way of being and growth is you have to shed your old skin. Now, when you get this card, it suggests that you've already done it. And so you're being asked to quit scraping at the old wound, as it were, where you shed these old things that no longer serve you. You've done some self-assessment. You've been moving forward, and you've been growing in the right direction and following the path and enjoying the journey. But the message here is that it's almost like you keep looking back to make sure that you got that lesson. You know what? You got it. You did it. You've lived that. Let go of those things that no longer serve you, and allow yourself to move forward without the burden of those things that are no longer necessary. You don't really need them. So you're also encouraged with this card to I don't know if you know how much you know about the law of manifestation and the law of attraction, but everything that we say, think, essentially goes out into the universe as a prayer. And so this is asking you, this encouragement with this card is that you break the habit of just working on your faults, chipping away at yourself all the time. To be constantly aware and constantly, there are those people that read every self-help book that's ever been written, and they're constantly focused on what's wrong and what they need to fix and what they need to improve. The problem with that, and while it is very important for us to be cognizant of our choices and our behaviors and where they come from, and to eliminate those limiting beliefs that were never true in the first place, so that we can move forward and we can grow and live the life that we choose, and live with a perspective that is edifying and a blessing to ourselves and to those around us. You need to be focused on what you have and be focused on what you're grateful for, because what you focus on is what you're going to get more of. So if you're constantly focused on what you need to fix about yourself, you're always going to have something to fix. So the encouragement here is to just let that go. Be aware and recognize. But once we have started on this journey of self-edification, it's like beating a dead horse, or scratching an itch that doesn't itch anymore, or scraping at an old wound and constantly exposing fresh skin. We're not allowing ourselves to shed those things, those albatrosses around our neck that don't serve us anymore. Let those things go, and focus on what it is you want. Who you want to be. Not who you think you are, not who you think you need to fix. Be focused on, who do you want to be? Do you want to be kind, intelligent, funny, joyful, passionate? What is it? Who do you want to be? Who is it that's what you focus on, and that's what you look toward, so that you're constantly looking forward. But what you need to know about that is when we're on this journey, and you need to be enjoying the journey, by the way, living in the moment. Don't spend all your time looking back. There's nothing back there for you anymore. You've left all that behind. You are no longer that person. The choices and the decisions that you made, whether it was yesterday or a decade ago, are gone. You're not that person anymore. And if the exact same thing were to happen again, hopefully you wouldn't respond the same way, because you're someone else now. You're continuously growing and evolving into who you are supposed to be at this moment in time. And everything leading up to this moment has been preparing you for what's to come next. So you're prepared. You're ready. You don't have to keep scraping into that old wound. Let that heal. Let it go. Those things that you no longer need. Stop focusing so much on what you need to fix, and start focusing on what you love. Focus on what you want, and focus on it as though you already have it. You don't say, I want to be a kind person. You say, I am a kind person. You don't say, I want to be a smart person. You say, I am a smart person. It's not that I want to be generous. It's that I am generous. And you speak in those terms as though those things are already come to pass. Because what we hear is what becomes our truth. I want to tell you an interesting thing. And, the brain does not distinguish the difference. There's a big bad motorcycle outside. My dog's in. The brain doesn't distinguish the difference between something that we see and something that we visualize. To the brain, it's the same. So if we want to control and live the life we choose, if we want to control what's coming to us, we have to control what we're putting out. So if you want to continuously being fixing things and continuously being working on yourself and trying to, work on your, hammer away at your faults, you're going to spend the rest of your life doing that. If you want to eventually be living the life of a passionate human who's living the life he chooses, that's what you focus on, because the brain doesn't care if you've actually seen it or if it's visualized it. It makes no distinction. And that holds true with what we hear as well. You may have someone in your life constantly telling you that you're not worthy. You got to say you are worthy more than what you hear from other people, because what your brain hears is what becomes your truth. If you walk around telling everybody that you're clumsy, you're going to be clumsy because you're basically praying for it. And Spirit's just hanging out, waiting to answer your prayers. So I hope that makes some sense to you. But you also need to know that as you start this process of focusing on what you have, what you're grateful for, and what you want, it can also make you a little bit vulnerable. And it can make you feel a little bit unsteady, a little bit scary. And just know that that's okay. It's okay to be a little bit, it's okay to be a little bit vulnerable. They say, I've said this half a dozen times just tonight, that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And, I've done several readings tonight, and all the cards, if I took all the cards that I've used tonight from all the decks that I used for all the people that I've done tonight, and I've done, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You are my 10th reading tonight. And I could add these cards in, and I had one big reading, and the message has been resounding that enjoy the journey. Don't be so hyper-focused on the past that you can't do anything about. Forgive the past, forgive yourself, forgive the people, the situations, let all of that go. And don't be so hyper-focused on the end result that you miss what's happening right here in the moment. Because that's where the magic happens. The magic is not in the destination of the goal. It's not in the target of the goal to become a painter or an architect or whatever it is. You want to be an attorney or you want to be a cowboy. It doesn't matter. The magic is not in you becoming that. Magic is the process of you becoming. It's not about being a cowboy. It's about becoming a cowboy. It's not about being an architect. It's about becoming an architect. So trust the magic of the spiral, that as you shed the things of your past, the limiting beliefs, the experiences of other people that were not necessarily a reflection of you but affected you, it's okay to let those things go. You don't have to hold on to those. And as you shed that need to be constantly chiseling away, and allow yourself to enjoy the journey and trust that, you need to know that you are in co-creation of your life with Spirit. It's you and Spirit together. And so you don't have to do it alone. In fact, Spirit would prefer that you not. That's your connection to the other side. So just know you might feel a little vulnerable. Now, the next card that you got is Papalama. And let me read you the essence for this card. And this is, again, this is the meaning of the symbolism. And look at this amazing card. Isn't that beautiful work? The camera here, this camera does absolutely no justice for the artwork on these cards. So Pachamama represents the unconditional love that the earth has for all her children, including the stones, the plants, the animals, and humans. She is the goddess of earth, also known as Gaia, who pervades all creation in our planet. Thanks to Pachamama, our timeless soul can experience life in a biological body. The joy and pain we taste during our brief time on earth are invitations to discover the boundless love of Pachamama. Now, she is the, in this form, this is of the Incan philosophy. But she's also like Gaia, she's Mother Earth. She's similar to Kuan Yin of the Eastern tradition. And she's similar to Mother Mary, who loves us unconditionally and wants only the best for us. And so the guardian, and this one is the symbolism of pure in its most unconditional and most natural form, because no one loves us like our mom. And whether it's our real mom or the person who raises us, it doesn't matter. The person who loved us the most, that's what this is about. So this card is encouraging you, and you just had the spiral that's telling you to quit working on all your faults and quit focusing on all the things that you don't have and focus on the things you do have. And then Pachamama is coming along and asking you to be kind to yourself, to be as gentle and as kind and as generous with yourself as you are with other people. You need to know that self-care is never selfish. And we are not raised that way. We're not taught that. We're taught that we have to be in service all the time or we're selfish. And if we're doing something for ourselves, then we can't be doing something for someone else. And the truth of it is self-care is paramount. We cannot be of any use to anyone else if we are not taking care of ourselves. And this is Mother Earth. So there's the message with this is the time is now for you to engage in the type of self-care that's going to allow you to continue to become who you are supposed to become, and living gratefully, and in turn in living the life you choose. So this is this card. It says, now is the time to eat right, love right, and be joyous regardless of the circumstances you may find yourself in. Be grateful for your life, be grateful for your body, be grateful for your talents, be grateful for your trials, because they're lessons and they help you move forward in every single thing that we go through. Prepares us for the next thing. I said earlier this evening, I don't believe that everything happens for a reason, but I do believe that in everything that happens, there is a lesson. And there is something that we can take from that. And we can choose to take something good from it and help move us towards this place of edification. Or we can choose to wallow in it and be victims. And you cannot live gratefully and be engaged in self-care when you're feeling sorry for yourself or weak. And that's this, and those are all the same words for just being ungrateful. Now, everything happens under, there's only two emotions that really, there's only two. There's love and fear. And Pachamama is asking you to reflect back this unconditional love that she has for you out. And remember, what you put out is what comes back to you. So this is a beautiful gift she's giving you and asking you to take care of yourself, to love yourself genuinely and unconditionally. Because when you can love yourself unconditionally, and when you can recognize the gifts that you have, and that's what you're focusing on rather than chiseling away at faults, and living gratefully for those, then you put that into the universe, and the universe brings it right back to you. And you're going to find the people coming into your tribe, the people that are supposed to be in your life will find you. And that's a beautiful gift. Let me say, it says, You are invited to relish each breath, embrace your joy and your pain equally. Recognize those things as blessings. You recognize pain is, we would never appreciate joy and peace if we didn't have a little doom and gloom. We wouldn't recognize what a gift it was. It's like you're not going to appreciate sunlight if you've never experienced darkness. You know, because you do it all the time. If that's what you always have, you know. So it's all about accomplishing this ability to love unconditionally, and that's a tricky thing, to be able to love unconditionally. But when you are able to live gratefully and love unconditionally, the gifts that come with that are huge blessings to you. And then you, in turn, become a huge blessing to those around you. But again, we're back to that law of attraction and the law of manifestation. What you send out is what comes back to you. So if you're constantly focusing on what needs to be fixed rather than what you're grateful for, and these cards go together very, very well because they're both about you focusing on what you love most, what brings you joy, what you're grateful for. And then when you are doing that, when you're sending out the energy of unconditional love and gratitude and appreciation, that's what comes back to you. And the biggest gift with this is that not only are you going to draw into your circle the people and the situations that are worthy of you, but you are going to experience those things, these situations, these people, and this self-love on a level that you wouldn't believe possible. And that is the beautiful thing. That's when you really, it's like the first walk through the woods after a rain, after a dry summer, and all the dust is gone off of the leaves, and you're realizing how green everything is, and you can smell the dirt and how clean it is. You really start experiencing life and living life in the moment, and life becomes this miraculous, amazing journey. And again, the journey is where the magic is. So don't be so hard on yourself. And recognize that you have much to offer, and know that you are much loved and that you are worthy and you deserve to live the life that you choose. And for you, it's just a little shift in perspective in moving from, because everything, even when you're trying to constantly chip away at faults, and it's still in self-improvement, but it's self-improvement assuming that things are wrong. And things aren't wrong. Things are where they were supposed to be at the time, and now it's time for you to move into something else. So, those things that happened in the past, the people that happened in your past, the situations that happened in your past, those things were there at that time, and you learned from those things, and you moved forward from those things. And now if you were in the same situation, had the same people, you would respond differently because you've become a different person. And that's what growth is all about. These cards are promising you to, the encouragement here is that it's going to take this to a whole new level of awareness and gratitude and peace of mind and a settled heart. I hope that makes some sense to you. And just trust that Spirit has your back. You don't have to do things alone. And remember that it's okay to be a little bit vulnerable. This is all about unconditional love and learning to experience that and the magic that comes with it on a whole new level. So there you go. You got the spiral, get Papa Mama. And then it's all about moving forward in a very edifying, beautiful, exciting, passionate life and living the life that you choose. And you'll be able to do that when you shift your focus just a little bit from what's wrong to what's right. And as you do that, you are going to continue to draw to you more of whatever it is you focus on. So if you're focused on the beauty that life has brought you and the ability to love and live gratefully, you're going to get even more of that, and it's going to be a very satisfying and um, kind of a blessed transition for you into um, a life of gifts that you might not have even thought possible. And I tell people all the time, dream big, and then I say dream bigger, because you can have whatever you want. It's all in how you focus on it. So I hope that resonated with you, Tim, and thank you so much for asking for a reading. I love doing these. I love having these types of discussions. If you have any questions, you're welcome to send me a message. You can find me on Facebook at MH Messages of Hope. It's a business page, and you're certainly welcome to reach out to me there if you have questions, or if you just simply want to join me on free reading nights and listen to messages. A lot of people pop in and don't even get readings. They just pop in and listen. But again, nice to kind of meet you. And I hope that message gave you some something to look forward to. So thanks much. Bye.